What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I'll put it up. Thanks everybody for supporting. But this video is entitled Childhood Depression is an Issue. Coworker had put up something about a kid trying to commit suicide. Thankfully, it was just an attempt and not actually successful. But I've seen a lot of depressed kids for things that when I was a child and a teenager, we really weren't as depressed about. You get what I'm saying? So, first and foremost, we as adults make fun of kids because they're softer than we were. And just like when we were kids, the adults said we were softer than they were. But what you're seeing is sensitivity to things that we feel like could be easily corrected. Like social media. Having these children on social media at such an early age and making that a norm in their life, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think kids should be worried about views and likes and how the world perceives them, because to a degree it robs them of their childhood. Because now they're not able to just grow and progress like we did as kids, because they're worried about how the world views them and their children. That's not what's necessary. And I think it's more heightened than when I was a kid, because if you had kids who had things and you had kids who didn't have things. Normally, the kids who were poorer got made fun of because of their circumstances, or envied the kids who had more than them because of their circumstances. But to a degree, there was always a balancing act of personality. Like, okay, you learn how to make up for whatever you lacked from growing from a child to an adult, right? So what winds up happening is you don't really think about it. That's how people learn to crack jokes. We all even, if I'm funny, I'm broke and I'm funny, and you rich and you not funny, you just level the playing field, right? Or if I'm smart, you gonna need my help if you're not too bright. Level the playing field. Or if I'm how can I say this? If I'm innovative and I can and I learn how to create a wave at a young time, or if I'm a kid who learns how to be a hustler in the sense of, the kids used to sell candy and pencils and this, that, and the third to make money, changing it. Kids used to cut hair, to make a few dollars so they can afford things, so they weren't necessarily as depressed because they used their negative and turned it into a positive. But now you don't see that as much, because you don't see as many kids learning how to get out and hustle, get out and grind. Everything is, you can pretty much do it in-house if you want to. So that's a problem. Kids used to go out and cut grass, but that's a skill. People used to employ kids for cutting grass. That was a good thing. That was how you taught kids how to be entrepreneurs to a degree, right? Now kind of landscaping took that. Because back in the day, brothers used to be landscapers, but brothers never got in the way of kids cutting grass. You get what I'm saying? But now, kids can't cut grass no more because all these adults are really trying to run kids into the ground the same way they did with paper routes. Paper routes used to be for kids. So all these grown men came along and just pushed the kids out of paper routes, which pushed them out of self-agency and self-sufficiency and learning how to work at an early age and earn money per se. So thus it goes into depression to a degree, because you take away kids' ability to have self-agency and we're not teaching them as many skills because so many families are either broken or too busy to teach skills. And I mean big skills to small skills. Like, how many kids you know who know how to fish right now? You know what I'm saying? How many kids you know have ever hunted before? You know, normally poor kids learn how to cook before rich kids do because poor kids' parents are working, so they got to fix their own food. You know, get themselves up for school, this, that, and the third. But because of all of these lacking of skills, you got depression. The other thing beyond social media is video game culture. I mean, I don't even play video games anymore, but I'm not blind to kids playing video games and not being able to take the quote unquote verbal abuse of the online community, right? You get these kids talking crazy to grown men and grown men talking crazy to kids, and some of these kids just can't take it. So a problem, you know, which you know causes more and more depression. Then we just get into the regular life skills, you know, not being able to adapt, not maybe being a late bloomer, not being able to talk to the opposite sex may make you uncomfortable to the point you're depressed. Not being able to get a date at a young age may cause you depression. You know, not being validated by your peers because you don't fit in. Usually there's always been groups, you know, cool kids, jocks, nerds, thugs, people that could just could blend in with everybody. They're chameleon types. They you know, everybody had their tribe in a sense, whether there was a racial component to it or a non-racial component to it. Everybody had their cliques. And now you got, because of all of this online life, to a degree the cliques stop because you can have friends online substitute for friends in real life, but that's not real. You know, you don't see or hear people having a group that hangs out at each other's houses anymore. You know, you don't see or hear people having a team on the weekends. You know, stuff like that. Kids hang out and they do rambunctious stuff because most parents are scared of what's going on in society. Thus, my next point, parenting. They got a lot of games going on between parents, whether that's parents who are married and got two different ideologies, who are not on the same page, and the kid winds up being depressed because, to a degree, that battle over who's right neglects parenting that child. Or if you got separate households, you got that same battle and all the things that go along with it. So now, you know, you got kids in the same situation being either indoctrinated to choose a side or kind of just stepping outside of the mix. And now life is hitting them, and the parents are too busy battling. So you don't see the child as depressed. You know, the child got to tell you, I don't want to play your little games anymore because it's making me sad. You know, and we don't talk about that. You know, kids miss their parents because of all this fighting and all this posturing. And we don't take this stuff into consideration. And the other thing about parenting is, because there's a lack of discipline, a lot of the times, kids get depressed because they have no boundaries. The world's going to kick their ass, but your parents are not setting boundaries. Like recently, if anybody saw that clip of Russell Westbrook at the Nuggets game when the kid tried to punch him or push him in the middle of the game. and he almost lost snapped. He realized it was a kid, and then he had to tell the kid what's up, and then he had to tell the kid's father like really. But the problem beyond that situation was, if you look at the clip, the father and the mother was just happy, like, oh, my child just tried to punch an NBA player. He talked to you, son. Your kid gonna be depressed because of that, because he gonna go out in public doing that stupid shit, and they gonna get knocked the fuck out. You don't just walk up on strangers doing whatever you want, and your parents are sitting there thinking doing whatever you want is cool. That's stupid. And you see people being depressed because they think they can say whatever they want and do whatever they want to all kinds of people, and then when people crush their little ass, oh my God, this is not the world I was raised in. Thus the depression, because the world is not people are not raised to kiss your ass because your parents are stupid, you know. Thus creating all these issues with kids you're not letting these kids know they're gonna grow. So you got these beauty issues, these height issues, these weight issues, these body issues. Not explaining to these kids that, look, you're gonna grow out of all of that. It's just a process, you know. So, you know, I think bad parenting is the worst part. You know, part of this school shooting was depression, with parents are not having, I'm not saying watching over the kids like a hawk, but kids being sad about something and taking it out on the public because they don't have nobody to talk to. You want to give kids counseling, you want to give them medication, but we don't want to interact with them. And we haven't taught them how to interact with society. Thus, they're right in front of our faces in solitude, trying to figure out how to go from a child to being an adult. And that's a process we need to help kids with it. That's what adults are for. You know, so we out of here. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.